Hello, everybody, and welcome to Church at Home with Rachel for Monday, the 12th of February. I am back and refreshed and retreated and all that stuff, and ready to tackle Church at Home again, not live, but pre-recorded, because I'm not getting up at 4:30 in the morning to record these. But here we go. I'm back to using our daily bread from 2022 for all these tags I've marked. As I'm preparing to get ready to move, I'm trying to work through things and see if I can not carry nearly as much with me. This doesn't seem like much to take with me, but it's still another thing. And I thought, you know what? I'll see if I can work through it, and things that I want to record and talk about, I will, and then I don't have to take it with me. This one, though, struck me, and maybe I'll pull it out and stick it to my wall or something. It's from the 26th of August, 2022, Friday the 26th. And it's from Philippians 4, verses 4 to 7. That's what it's referring to. But the quote it uses at the beginning is, "You do not have because you do not ask God." James chapter 4, verse 2. And the author here, Arthur Jackson, says, "The gleeful shouts arising from our basement came from my wife Shirley. For hours she had wrestled with a newsletter project, and she was ready to be done with it. In her anxiety and uncertainty about how to move forward, she prayed for God's help. She also reached out to Facebook friends, and soon the project was completed, a team effort." While a newsletter project is a little thing in life, small and not so small things can bring about worry and anxiousness. Perhaps you're a parent walking through the stages of child rearing for the first time, a student facing newfound academic challenges, a person grieving the loss of a loved one, or someone experiencing a home, work, or ministry challenge. Sometimes we're needlessly on edge because we don't ask God for help. Paul pointed the followers of Jesus in Philippi and us to our first line of defense in times of need. "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." When life gets complicated, we need reminders like the one from the hymn, "What a friend we have in Jesus. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear. All because we do not carry everything to God in prayer." And perhaps in our asking God for help, He'll lead us to ask people who can assist us. And the prayer says this: "Dear God, forgive me for not bringing my burdens to you in prayer. Help me to reach out to others and ask for help too." I find this really important because I am learning how much I don't know in this whole transition process, and even in being an archdeacon. There's so much that people look to you and think, "Oh, you're the archdeacon, you're the bishop-elect, you must know the answer to this." And my answer is like, yeah, no, not really. I haven't got a clue. However, I know how to ask questions. I don't even always know where to ask the questions, but I know I can ask questions. So it's a matter of opening up and asking. I spent an awful lot of my life, a lot of my grown up and my child life, being really embarrassed if I didn't know something. It's like somehow I got this idea that in order to be worthwhile, I had to know the answer. I had to know how to do something perfectly the first time and not be, and not have to ask anyone for help. Some kind of super duper independent streak got into me that was not healthy, and I don't know where it came from. I don't recommend it for anybody. So if you recognize it in yourself or your children, snip it in the bud. Nip it in the bud. Sorry. No, it's not healthy. In life, we learn things because we ask questions, because we try, because we watch other people. I acknowledge that I am not a big asker of help, but I am a big observer. I'll see other people doing things. I'll watch other people doing things. Since I was elected bishop, I'm watching things and reading things and, watching things on television, even like Roman Catholic things, watching consecrations and like, okay, why did they do that? Where is that? Okay, oh, that's why they do that. That's when that happens. And I still labor under this idea that if I ask the question, it makes me look stupid, that I didn't know the answer. The reality is that if I only look stupid if I never ask the answer and assume that I should know what the answer is. I have learned that God does not set us up to live as islands. We are not meant to be independent travelers. We walk a journey, and we can only walk our own journey. We can only walk in our own shoes. But the fact is that there will be times along that way that maybe we do walk alone. Maybe we do walk silently and when we look back, see only one sets of footprints in the dirt. But often along that path, along our journey, we'll walk up to travelers. We'll walk up to those people who have just come on to the journey themselves, those who are just preparing to get off that road and go someplace else. But while we have the group, we can observe, we can learn, we can ask questions. We might run into people who are coming the other way toward us on the same path. We can ask them, where is it we're going? Where is them? What does it look like up there? Why are you leaving? What is it about that path that you decided to come this way? We can learn so much by asking and recognizing that we don't have to have all the answers ourselves. I absolutely love that phrase, that passage from Paul's letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 6. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. One of the confessions I need to make as a step-parent, I'm not proud of this, but when my son, I had two stepsons, but one of them lived with us for a while, for several years. And when he would come to me as a teenager, he'd come and ask a question. When he came to me to ask a question with his head down and kind of shuffling his feet and, hemming and hawing, and parts of his question or story lined up this way and then other things didn't make a lot of sense, I was anxious. I was like, wait a minute. I think I'm being taken here. We got a teenage manipulation thing going on here. That smell of skunk coming in the back door. Maybe that wasn't skunk. I get suspicious because the way he came to approach me wasn't exactly feeling upright, forthright. Then there were those days he'd come bounding into the kitchen or wherever it was I was working, and I wasn't often working in the kitchen. I don't cook, but wherever I was in the house or in the office, and he'd pop in and ask a question, and he was excited. He was like, it might even be a math problem, which is his worst subject, coming in and he's like, okay, help me with this. I know you can figure it out. Totally different approach, totally different way of asking the question. When he came to me with this petition for help and with thanksgiving, because he knew I already knew how to figure this out, he presented his request to me. I was like, awesome, he wants my help. I can help him with this. And even when his question, the answer to his question was something so simple that he could have figured out if he'd given it a little bit more thought, a little bit more less anxious thought, it was easy to give him the answer. And it was wonderful for him to see, oh yeah, why didn't I think of that? Of course. It was the coming together of minds. It was him coming to me and asking in anticipation that I would be able to help him and gratitude that I would be able to help him. That helped me as a human person answering the question feel the real desire to help him, but also a real sense that we're doing something together, that we can accomplish this thing together. When we ask God for help, not in that like kicking stones, like I've done everything else, I've asked everybody else, I have nobody else to turn to. Okay, last resort, I'll go to God. God still answers our questions. God is not like a human parent, like, why the heck didn't you come to me first? Would have saved a lot of time. Now we got to sit down and do this. God's like, why didn't you come to me first, son or daughter or child? We could have saved so much time and aggravation. But you know what? Here we go. Let's figure this out. God isn't mean to us when we come and say, I don't know the answer. I think more often God's like, well, it's about time. You weren't meant to know the answer. You weren't meant to know the answer until you asked. Why do we presume that we should know everything? We learn and we grow every day. If we stop learning and growing, we become stagnant. It's like you can teach an old dog new tricks. Lots of new tricks learning here, okay? And I recognize that the more that I learn, the more I don't know, which actually gives me more energy to go out and learn more. It's amazing. It's like a snowball. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It runs faster and faster and faster. It rolls faster and faster. And it's a beautiful thing when I remember that I don't have to do this thing called life by myself. You don't have to do life by yourself. No one, including God, wants you to do life by yourself. It's about relationships, and it's about being able to be humble, not humiliated, but to be humble and say, I don't know this thing right now. I don't know what is happening. So I'm going to ask for help. And I'm going to do it in such a way that shows that I'm happy to ask for help and I trust the one I'm asking for help. And I'm not going to be anxious about it. Remember the hymn, what a friend we have in Jesus. Oh, what peace we often forfeit. Oh, what needless pain we bear, all because we do not carry everything to God in prayer. Do not be anxious about anything. But in every situation, by prayer and petition, asking, with thanksgiving, assuming that you're going to find out what the answer is and be happy about it, present your request to God. Always expect that God is going to help you. And then be prepared to accept the answer to that expectation. Thanks for hanging out with me, and thank you for letting me ask lots of questions, because you are part of how I grow. Because God uses you, like the wife's Facebook group. God uses you to teach me how to be a better person, how to be a better priest, how to be a better bishop-elect. Thank you for being open to being asked the question. Now the question is, are you open to asking the question? That's completely up to you. Have a great day. God bless. And I will see you again tomorrow for Church at Home with Rachel.